We're going to go through 3.2.1 from the quiz. So I'm going to solve it so you can hopefully identify like where you went wrong when you did it. So for this one, we have to determine the ordered pair that satisfies the system. And we need to figure out, do we want to use elimination or substitution? For this one, we're going to use elimination because they're already lined up for us. And we do not have an x equals or a y equals. And so I'm just going to rewrite it over here so that I have more room to solve it. And when I rewrite it, I am going to add a 1 in front of this x because if there's not a number there, we do know it's an invisible 1. So for elimination, I'm going to add them together. So each column, 2x plus 1x is 3x. Negative 3y plus 3y, those cancel out. We can bring down our equal sign. 6 plus a negative 3 is a positive 3. A huge mistake that we saw was an error in the x value, and that was caused by not adding these correctly. And so it's really helpful to put that 1 in because if you don't, you might have this as a 2x. But it is 3 of them because there was 2 up here and then 1 here. So from here, we're going to divide both sides by 3, and we get x equals 1. So I know for the solution, my x value has to be 1, and my x value is always the first number in the parentheses. So looking at my options, I want to see if I can get rid of any right now before I find my y value. So for the first one, my x value is 1, so that's good. For the second one, my x value is negative 4/3. Well, that's not 1, so I can cross off that one. My x value is 3/2. I can cross off that one because, again, I'm looking for an x value of 1. And then here, negative 3/2, well, that doesn't work either. So there's only one option left, which means I don't need to find the y value because there's only one that has an x value of 1. And so my answer is 1 comma negative 4/3. If I wanted to keep going and find my y value, I could. So I'm going to do that pretty quickly. It won't take very long. I'm going to use my bottom equation, plug in 1 for x, and then I can go ahead and solve. So subtract 1 from both sides. 3y equals negative 4. I want to divide both sides by 3, and I'm running out of room here, so I'm going to write it over here. Y equals negative 4/3, which does end up being the second number in that point. So there's another question we're going to go through from the quiz. So I'm just going to flip this over. Because 3.2.1 does have 2 parts. And this one asks, the pair x comma y is a solution for the below system. What is the value of y? So we're not asked for the point, we just want the value of y. And for this system, we're going to use substitution because our second equation already has y by itself. So I'm going to draw a box around everything that y is equal to, and all of that is going to go in for y in my other equation. So I'm going to rewrite my top equation. I have my 3x, and then I'm adding this y, but I'm replacing that y with everything in that box. And then I have my equal sign, and then 10. So because there's not a coefficient or a number out in front of these parentheses, I don't need to distribute anything. So I'm just going to rewrite it without those parentheses. And then I can combine like terms and solve. So when I combine my like terms, I combine those to give me 7x. Then to solve, I want to subtract 17 from both sides. 7x equals a negative 7. 10 minus 17 is a negative 7. And I'm going to divide both sides by positive 7. And I get x equals negative 1. Now, one thing I noticed is that negative 1 is an option. However, my question was the value of y, and I found x. So I'm not done. And so I want to take that x value, plug it back in to find my y value. So I'm going to rewrite the second equation because I think that's easier. So I have y equals 4. I'm plugging in my x value of -1, and then I still have the plus 17. 4 times -1 is -4, and then plus 17. -4 plus 17 is a positive 13. So because this question asks for the value of y, my y value is 13, so I'm going to go ahead and bubble this one in.